Today is the day we're celebrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. It's a day for Hoosiers and all of those across America to come together and to reflect and think about his message of equality, his message of love of God and love for one another. I'm reminded regularly about Dr. Martin Luther King's message due to a dear friend that I met in the late 1990s. Pastor Melvin Jackson from Indianapolis and I met when I was deputy mayor in the city of Indianapolis, and we were working on reducing the homicide rate and the violence in our city. He shared with me this photo about a decade ago of he meeting Dr. King in Chicago in the early 60s. He had been a community organizer in Illinois and had attended a number of rallies and discussions where he learned about Dr. King's message. He had been with him in Detroit, in Chicago, in Memphis. He had been at the march in Washington, D.C. And what he has shared with me from that last decade that I've known Pastor Jackson is that Dr. King had a profound impact on his work, and then the work that Pastor Jackson brought not only to the city of Indianapolis, but to this country. He said that his message, that Dr. King's message, was about love of God and love of neighbor, that it was not about anger or hatred, but that in order to change hearts and minds, the people needed to reform systems. They needed to start programs and projects that could really change the hearts and minds about the importance of equality and loving your neighbor. Pastor Jackson talks about the importance of things like Head Start programs and how we bring children into that program and try and get them on a path of success at such a young age. Pastor Jackson, through his ministries in Indianapolis, he came to our city in 1977. He started an organization called Westside Community Ministries, and he worked with homeless veterans. He mentored families throughout the city through our juvenile courts. And I met him through the Weed and Seed program in Indianapolis, which was all about weeding out crime and seeding opportunity and success in neighborhoods. And then we worked together in Project Safe Neighborhoods, which is all about reducing gun violence in our communities. Pastor Jackson has lived the word of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I brought this photo with me to Washington, D.C. It is a solemn reminder of Dr. King's message, of those who day in and day out, like Pastor Jackson, work to bring equality and to bring love and peace to our neighborhoods. And I just want to thank Pastor Jackson, and I want to thank Dr. Martin Luther King for his powerful message, not only to the Indianapolis community and to central Indiana, but to our world and our nation. We are blessed that he was a true American hero.